Hey everyone, and welcome back. Today we are taking a deep dive into Learn to Focus, key to be a front runner in life.
Oh, that sounds intriguing.
It is. You know how it seems like we are always just bombarded with information these days?
Totally.
Well, this book is promising to help us cut through all the noise and actually achieve our goals.
I like it already.
So let's see what it's all about.
Okay, yeah.
It even has one of those disclaimers.
Right.
No guarantees of income made.
Right. Of course.
So yeah, we're going to have to use our own judgment here, I think.
For sure. And I think that is what makes this deep dive so interesting.
Okay.
We're going beyond just summarizing the book. We're going to analyze these ideas together and see what really resonates.
Exactly. All right, well, the book jumps right in talking about the power of the mind as like the key to success.
Okay.
It even compares life to a battlefield.
Ooh, that sounds intense.
Yeah, a little bit intense.
Yeah.
What did you think about that analogy?
I think it really captures how we often feel.
It's like work deadlines, family responsibilities, our own personal goals. It's like they are all competing for our attention.
Yeah.
And, sometimes it really can feel like we are losing that battle.
Oh, definitely. And the book points out that, when we start to feel overwhelmed like that,
Yeah.
we turn to distractions, things that don't really help in the long run.
Mm-hmm.
So it encourages us to find ways to replenish our energy that are actually good for us.
Makes sense. What I thought was really fascinating was this emphasis on the mind-body connection.
Oh, yeah.
The book says your body is a reflection of your mind. So it is suggesting that, learning to control our thoughts can have a huge impact on our overall well-being.
Right. Yeah. It's all connected.
It is.
Now, chapter 2, this one was interesting.
Okay.
It delves into this whole idea of learning organizations.
Okay.
And I will admit that sounded a bit dry at first.
Yeah, I could see that.
But it really got me thinking. Well, learning organizations, essentially they're companies that prioritize continuous learning and adaptation.
Oh.
They embrace change. They encourage individual growth. They have this shared vision for the future.
Interesting, yeah. The book highlights how these organizations are always looking ahead.
Yeah.
They are not dwelling on past mistakes.
Right.
Which I think helps everyone stay focused on what really matters. And it reminded me of how crucial that is, like a strong vision.
Yes.
Especially for startups.
Oh, absolutely.
You need that clear direction to keep everyone, moving forward.
Absolutely. And that shared vision, it helps prevent people from getting sidetracked by distractions or internal politics.
Yeah.
Everyone is aligned towards a common goal.
Exactly, yeah. Okay, chapter 3, this one is titled, Willpower is a Must for Prolonged Success.
Okay.
I'm a little skeptical, I will admit, of this anyone can achieve anything kind of message.
Right.
But I'm curious to hear your take on this.
Yeah, it's not just about blind optimism.
Right.
The book really emphasizes that success requires a specific mindset, a willingness to persevere even when things get tough.
Okay, yeah.
And they use this really powerful analogy comparing life to a sea voyage.
Oh, I love that analogy.
Yeah.
You're going to face storms, rough seas, you name it. But if you have the willpower to keep going, you will eventually reach your destination.
Exactly. And the key is not letting those inevitable challenges completely derail us.
Yeah.
It's about managing our anxieties, avoiding distractions, and staying focused on the task at hand.
So how do we actually put this into practice?
Right.
Especially in the workplace.
Yeah.
That's where chapter 4 comes in.
That's right. This chapter encourages us to analyze our past experiences, both the super productive times and the times when we just couldn't seem to focus.
Yeah.
It even suggests asking ourselves specific questions about the work environment.
Like what?
Well, was my desk clean?
Seriously?
Serious.
I never even thought about that as a focus factor.
It's about understanding those personal triggers, What helps us get into a flow state, what throws us off track. Once we can identify those patterns, we can start to create a more focused, friendly environment for ourselves.
That's a good point. The book also suggests creating a productivity focus list. Basically prioritizing tasks and tackling the most important ones without overthinking it.
Yes.
No more procrastination.
No more procrastination. It's about making conscious choices about where we direct our energy and attention.
All right. Now, chapter 5. This one shifts gears a bit.
Okay.
And it focuses on helping kids learn to focus.
Oh, wow.
For all the parents out there, this one's for you. What stood out to you from this chapter?
I love how the book encourages parents to reframe education in a positive light. It suggests helping children view school as getting dressed up for success.
Okay.
not just something they have to endure.
Right, right. And it talks about creating a stimulating learning environment that goes beyond just traditional textbooks. Things like motivational posters, hands-on activities, anything that makes learning engaging and fun.
Yeah, it also emphasizes the importance of catering to different learning styles. Some kids thrive in a structured environment while others need more flexibility and hands-on experiences. It's about finding what works best for each individual child.
I love that.
Okay.
Chapter 6, this one is jam-packed with tips.
Okay.
It's called 10 Ways to Build Focus in Your Life.
Nice.
We won't go through all of them now.
Okay.
But it's definitely worth checking out in the book. What would you say is the overall theme of these 10 ways?
I think they all really revolve around identifying and overcoming personal obstacles that prevent us from achieving our goals.
Okay.
Whether it's procrastination, distractions, or negative self-talk, the book offers some strategies to help us break through those barriers.
It's like creating a personalized toolkit for focus.
Exactly.
All right. Chapter 7 dives into the link between learning to focus and time management. I feel like those two go hand in hand, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. The book defines focus as the degree of concentration that we apply to a task.
Okay.
And it prompts us to assess our own level of focus.
Yeah.
Are we just going through the motions, or are we fully present and engaged?
That's a great question to ask ourselves. And speaking of self-reflection, the book offers some great time management tips like doing daily appraisals to track our progress and making sure we are prioritizing our long-term goals.
And here's a key takeaway that really stuck with me from this chapter. The skills which got you where you are now may not take you where you want to be.
That's so true.
In other words, we need to be constantly learning and adapting.
We can't just rely on what worked in the past.
Right.
We have to be open to new challenges and new ways of thinking.
Exactly.
All right, let's move on to chapter 8, which is all about the power of focus with dedication and steadiness.
Okay.
So this chapter really emphasizes the importance of consistent effort.
Yeah.
It's not just about intense bursts of focus, but rather cultivating a sustained level of attention over time.
Right.
There is this great example in the book about attending a party.
Oh, yeah.
And it suggests that our focus actually determines whether we see the positive or the negative aspects of that experience.
Interesting.
Like we can choose to focus on the, boring conversations.
Yeah.
Or we can actively seek out the people and activities that really energize us.
It is a great reminder that we have a choice in what we focus on.
Yeah.
And that choice has a huge impact on our experiences.
Absolutely. And the book suggests practices like meditation to help us block out those distractions and consciously choose where to direct our attention.
Yeah, meditation is incredibly powerful for strengthening focus.
Right.
It helps us become more aware of our thoughts and emotions, allowing us to choose which ones we want to engage with.
And the benefits go far beyond just relaxation.
Oh, for sure.
Studies have shown that meditation can improve relationships, boost cognitive function, and even enhance our overall well-being. It's like a mental workout for focus.
Exactly. It's about training the mind to be more present, more aware, and more focused.
All right, so we are going to move on to chapter 9 next, but first.
Okay, so moving right along to chapter 9. This one really resonated with me.
Oh, yeah.
As someone who has always struggled with information overload, especially when it comes to online marketing.
That is such a common challenge these days.
It is.
It's like you open your computer and you're just immediately hit with a tidal wave of information.
Yes.
About SEO, social media, content creation. It's enough to make anyone's head spin.
Exactly. And the book talks about this, feeling of paralysis.
Right.
That can set in when you are just bombarded with all these different strategies and tactics.
Yeah.
You end up procrastinating because you're just overwhelmed by the sheer volume of choices.
Absolutely. It's like, you are standing at the base of a mountain and there are 100 different trails to the top, but you're so busy analyzing each path that you never actually start hiking. So how do we avoid getting stuck in that analysis paralysis?
Right.
Well, the book actually offers a really simple solution.
Okay.
Focus on 3 key areas.
That's right. First, focus on product creation.
Okay.
It sounds obvious, but so many people get caught up in marketing before they even have a solid product to offer.
Right. It's like putting the cart before the horse.
Exactly. You need something valuable to sell before you can even think about selling it.
Makes sense.
The second area to focus on is your selling techniques.
Okay.
Again, there are so many different methods out there, but you don't need to master them all.
Right.
Choose 1 or 2 that align with your strengths and focus on becoming really good at those.
It's about quality over quantity.
Yes.
Finding what works best for you and your target audience.
And the third area is identifying a niche.
Oh, okay.
What specific problem are you solving? Who are you trying to reach?
Right.
By narrowing your focus, you can create much more targeted and effective marketing campaigns.
I love it. It's like finding your sweet spot in this like vast online marketplace.
Exactly.
And the book reminds us that online success is achievable.
It is.
But it requires focus, strategy, and a willingness to adapt and experiment.
You have to be willing to try new things, track your results, and adjust your approach as needed.
Speaking of adapting, let's move on to Chapter 10, which brings us back to the power of meditation.
Yes.
It seems like this book really emphasizes meditation as like a foundational tool for focus.
And for good reason. Meditation is a practice that can profoundly impact our ability to focus and achieve our goals.
Okay.
You know, it's not just about relaxation.
Right.
It's about training the mind to be more present, more aware, and more resilient in the face of distractions.
The book describes a simple but effective meditation technique that I'm actually going to try myself.
Oh, nice.
It involves focusing on your breath and visualizing the number 1. Have you ever tried this technique?
I have. It's surprisingly powerful.
Wow.
As you inhale and exhale, you imagine yourself drifting towards the number 1, gently letting go of any thoughts or distractions that arise. It's like hitting the reset button on your mind.
I love that analogy.
Yeah.
And the book emphasizes that the benefits of meditation extend far beyond relaxation.
Oh, yeah.
It can improve our relationships, enhance our health, and even boost our overall well-being.
Absolutely. It's like a ripple effect. When we cultivate a calmer, more focused mind, it positively impacts every area of our lives.
Now, Chapter 11. This one gets into the nitty-gritty of finishing projects effectively.
Okay.
This is something I know I struggle with.
Yeah.
Sometimes I get so caught up in starting new things that I neglect to actually see them through to completion.
I think we all struggle with that from time to time. It's
Yeah.
so tempting to jump from one exciting project to the next.
Yeah.
But true focus, you know, it often involves sticking with something even when it gets tough or loses its initial sparkle.
Right. It's about having that grit and determination to see things through to the end. What kind of advice does the book offer in this area?
It emphasizes the importance of planning our projects thoroughly from the outset, setting realistic deadlines, breaking down large tasks into smaller, more manageable steps, and crucially resisting the urge to multitask.
That's a tough one for me. I'm a chronic multitasker.
But multitasking can actually be a huge detriment to focus. When we try to juggle too many things at once, we end up spreading our attention too thin and doing none of them well.
Right.
It's far more effective to focus on one task at a time, give it our full attention, and then move on to the next.
So single tasking is the key to productivity.
It's definitely a key ingredient.
Okay.
And the book provides some practical strategies for implementing single tasking into our daily routines.
I'm curious to hear more about those strategies. Let's dive into the book's conclusion, where it really drives home the importance of focus as, you know, like the key to a fulfilling life.
Yeah, the conclusion really ties everything together beautifully.
It does.
It reminds us that we all have the capacity to improve our focus. You know, it's not some innate talent that some people are born with and others aren't.
Right.
It's a skill that can be developed with practice and the right techniques.
It's encouraging to hear that.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I feel like I'm just like naturally scatterbrained.
Yeah.
And there's nothing I can do about it. But the book really emphasizes that focus is something we can cultivate and strengthen over time.
Exactly. And it starts with taking a step back and honestly assessing our current lives.
Okay.
Are we feeling scattered and overwhelmed?
Right.
Or are we living with intention and focus?
That's a powerful question to ask ourselves.
It is.
You know, it is easy to just get swept up in the business of life and just like lose sight of what truly matters.
And if we find ourselves feeling lost in the chaos, the book offers a simple but powerful solution. Delegate.
Delegate. Tell me more. I'm always a bit hesitant to delegate tasks because I worry about things not being done my way.
I totally understand that feeling. Yeah. You know, delegating effectively is a crucial skill
Right.
for anyone who wants to achieve more and free up their time and mental energy for the things that truly matter.
So it's not just about getting more done.
Right.
It's about getting the right things done.
Exactly. It's about focusing on our strengths and delegating tasks that are better suited to someone else's skill set.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And it ties back to that idea of prioritizing our energy and attention.
Absolutely. It's about making conscious choices about where we direct our focus and letting go of the things that drain us or don't align with our goals.
And the book reminds us that taking breaks is essential.
Yes.
For maintaining focus, we can't expect ourselves to be, like, on all the time.
Right.
It's important to, step away, recharge, and come back to our tasks with renewed energy and clarity.
I love that point. It's so easy to fall into the trap of thinking that we need to be productive every minute of the day.
Right.
But that's simply not sustainable. We need to give ourselves permission to rest, recharge, and even have a little fun.
Absolutely. Burning ourselves out doesn't help anyone.
And finally, the book ends with this incredibly inspiring message. A person is able to perform better when he is focused. Therefore, utilize these tips to direct a drifting mind and surprise yourself with what you can achieve.
That is so powerful. It's about believing in our own potential.
Yeah.
And recognizing that focus is the key to unlocking it.
It really is about shifting our mindset, from feeling overwhelmed by all the demands on our attention to recognizing that we have the power to choose where we focus our energy.
And speaking of choices, the book wraps up with this reminder that focus isn't just about work or productivity.
Right.
It's about, living a more fulfilling life overall. What really resonated with you for that final message?
Well, the book emphasizes that a focused mind is a happier mind. When we are scattered and distracted, we are more likely to feel stressed, anxious, overwhelmed. But when we are able to focus our attention on the present moment, we can truly savor our experiences, connect with others on a deeper level, and find joy in the simple things.
That makes a lot of sense. For me, when my mind is racing, it's hard to really appreciate the good things that are happening around me. I'm so caught up in, my to-do list or worrying about the future that I miss out on the beauty of the present moment.
Exactly. And the book provides some really practical advice for how to cultivate that sense of present moment awareness.
Okay, yeah.
Even in the midst of our busy lives.
Like what? I'm all ears.
Well, it encourages us to incorporate mindfulness practices into our daily routine.
Okay.
Things like taking a few minutes each day to simply sit and focus on our breath, or paying attention to the sensations of our body as we move throughout the day.
Mm-hmm.
Even small acts of mindfulness can make a big difference.
I'm definitely going to try that. I feel like I could use a little more calm and focus in my life.
Me too. And the beauty of these practices is that they don't require a huge time commitment or any special equipment. You can practice mindfulness anywhere, anytime.
I love that. It's about making small, sustainable changes that can have a ripple effect on our overall well-being.
Exactly. And ultimately, that's what this book is all about, empowering us to take control of our focus so we can live more fulfilling, meaningful lives.
So to wrap things up, what is the one key takeaway you want listeners to remember from our deep dive into Learn to Focus?
Focus is a superpower that we all possess. It's not something that is reserved for a select few. With the right tools and techniques, we can all train our minds to be more focused, more resilient, and more present in our lives.
I love that. It's about recognizing that we have the power to choose where we direct our attention, and that choice has a profound impact on our experiences and our overall well-being.
Absolutely. And if there is one thing I hope listeners will take away from this deep dive, it is this: don't underestimate the power of focus. It can truly transform your life.
And if you're feeling inspired to learn more, be sure to check out the show notes for a link to the book and other resources that we mentioned today.
And here's a final thought to leave you with. What if, by simply improving your focus, you could unlock a level of potential you never even knew you had? What would that look like for you? What amazing things could you achieve?
That's a powerful question to ponder. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of focus. Until next time, stay curious.
And keep learning.